everyone, it's Marisa with Sweet Pea Curiosities. I hope you're all doing well. So I just completed a grungy junk journal. The last time I did a grungy junk journal, everybody kept saying, no, it's more steampunk. I've been really trying to push myself to do grungy. And there's a few people, there's a gal, I think it's Palace Queen. She's on Instagram. Oh my gosh. She just does the most incredible grungy junk journals. She's not on YouTube or anything. And to be honest with you, I was kind of out looking on YouTube trying to find people that really create grungy. And I really haven't found anybody that does the super grungy stuff. So I've just been watching a lot of her going on Pinterest and things like that and just trying to find inspiration. But anyways, so this is what I completed. And I did a lot of fabrics that I rusted, and I found I wish I would have had it out here. I did. I do have it. So there was a gal on YouTube that showed you how to rust fabrics using a rusting powder. Now, the powder that she used was definitely more powder. Even though this one says rusting powder, it's kind of, you're not going to be able to see it, but it's got little granules in it. So I don't know if I've got the right one, but it did work really well. It's a process to use, but basically you just kind of sprinkle it on with water and with vinegar and let it do its thing. So I've been doing a lot of prep for this. Even my metal pieces that I threw in. I have a whole bag full now of just rusty grunginess that I did use that rusting powder on. And I don't know, if you can really kind of see what I have here, but anyways, so I did a lot of that. I think doing these, if you're doing them all the time, you have all the elements that you need already to kind of jump in. I didn't, so I had to do a lot of that stuff. But anyways, I just think, I'm in love. I think I did a pretty good job for trying to really go a little more grungy than steampunk. So I had this paintbrush that I found on this, I was hiking and found this, and I've had it forever and just kind of in my little junk pile that I have, a box that I have. So I put that on there. And like I said, see, these are those little metal plates that I think I got on Amazon. Excuse me. And in fact, I have an Amazon link down below where I bought these on Amazon, and then I rusted them. This is a Tim Holtz, one of those cardboard words that's underneath that I just kind of grunged up. I added, of course, some lace and materials and this kind of hard fabric that I had. I wound this with some kind of rusty, although the rust kind of came off. It was rustier when I started, but sometimes it just kind of falls right off, but it still looks good. Just added, just a lot of little layers and that sort of thing. Now the cover that I used was a Reader's Digest, so it's Reader's Digest size as far as that goes. But yeah, I like it. I've got like a little, a little tangled here. This is one of the Tim Holtz numbers, and that I also rusted, so that rusted really well. on there. Then the back, I had this lacy dyed material that I had dyed. Now it's, see how it kind of folds in, and normally on my journals, you know, I would have glued those down so you could see it, but because it's grungy, I just kind of left it where it just kind of folds into itself. Then I have a little embellishment here with a little rusty number that I just kind of pinned on the top. As you can tell, I lost a nail during this process. So hopefully I get my nails done this week so I can get that fixed. So I apologize for that. But anyways, yeah, so I did that. The back, oh, and I covered it with, so I have, in my Etsy shop, I have a couple digitals that I used. And one of them is my, what did I call it? Oh my gosh. You'd think that I would remember this stuff. Some of my papers, but anyways, it's, they're all stained papers, coffee dyed papers that I have, and I did tags and that sort of thing in it. And yeah, it's just, I'm trying to bring it up here so I can tell you. Well, anyways, so, and then this here, I had dyed this, but I liked this because it says the end on it. So kind of fun on there. And then as you can tell, look at that. Oh, I just, you know what I found when I was doing this is that, you know, you just kind of just place things everywhere and randomly. It's not so uniform, if that makes sense. So you can just really have fun with it. And I just tried to experiment and kind of get out of my comfort zone. So anyways, so let's get into it here. All right, so this is a piece that I did a long time ago with photo paper that I did. And I did tape transfer. You know, when you take a magazine and you put the tape over the top and you transfer it over, and I had put that on there. And so this was a card that I had already had. So I put that in there, and I've got a couple more of them in here that have just been sitting in my pile that I just really needed to, you know, use somewhere. And I just thought it worked really great here. And then here's what I mean about, you just kind of go crazy. You just, you know, it's the layering and stuff. And I'm never pleased with my layering. Some people can do it really well, but this one I think turned out good. I've got some glaze here to make it a little shinier. This is from a magazine. And I just layered it on top. This is a tea bag that I have on there. And oh, and so I used fabric. So I put fabric on each page, and then I sewed it into the back. And I kind of like that process. It just moves a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more sturdy on your binding, instead of having, you know, when you just go into paper and sometimes it tends to tear and that sort of thing. So I like that, having that fabric there. And then this was a vintage envelope that was falling apart, and so I just took that back piece and I made it a pocket. This, I just love these photos. This is from one of my digitals, the funny photos that I have, and I just put those in here. This is, I also did the oh my gosh, the tape process over the top to make it a little bit more sturdy. You know, the lint roller, I have that video down below where you put it over the top of it, and it just makes them just sturdier, kind of gives them a sound to it. Those ones I already had in my pile, so that was easy enough. And then I just kind of, I've stamped here. This here, and I've put these throughout here. Oh my gosh, I found these online, and they're kind of spendy, but they are so cool. Look at that. I'll try to find it and I'll link it down below. But isn't that fun? I mean, they're just great. What are they called? Matte set plus minus, I think, is the area, the place I got it, but I'll try to link this below. But oh my gosh, these are fabulous. I mean, look at these. Look at these ones. Oops, that's a piece that I just had off, but yeah, they're translucent. They just go right over the top. And yeah, they're a lot of fun. What's this one? There's this one here. So yeah, they're not cheap. That's for sure, but I will link them below so you can take a look for those. But anyway, so I used some of that there. Then again, this is just my stained papers. This here, it's gonna be a little shiny, just from a old magazine. I also did the, I don't know if you've seen it or not, where you take a National Geographic and you use that citrusol, you put it all over the pages and it distorts the images. And I did that on, this is from a National Geographic, and it didn't distort it, but it aged it, and I'll show it to you more in here. It's a really neat process. It doesn't take a long time to put the citrusol on it, but it takes a long time for it to dry. But anyway, so did that. I had some old stained words and phrases on material that I threw out in here. It's just an old remnant that I had. Again, here's from a magazine that I had, and I put it on. Here's one of those stickers that I used again, or not stickers, because they're not stickers. I don't know what you call them. Just overlay, like an overlay. This here, I've had a metal piece that I put on the top of here, that I put on here. Again, just put a saying here: one day you will look back and see that you were blooming all along. I liked that. And then isn't she sweet? So this is from that digital that I was referring to, that I used, and you get, it looks like this, and it's a circle, and so I cut it out. I used one of my cabinet cards here. This here's just a dragonfly that I embossed. This here's some material that I had used that rusting powder on, and it really just grunged it up really, really good. Again, here's that from one of my digitals. The same with these here. And then I just added the cards. I have a digital out there that are collages that are all these little tiny pictures. So I just cut out some of those little pictures and I put it inside. I like that collage because they're small little pictures and you can put them, you know, into places. I just did a little tab here. Just a little embellishment. I had an old patch. I don't know what that means or what it's from, but I just put it on there. This here is a coffee stained. I had a book page and I stained it with coffee, and I just loved how that turned out with the little dogs. Very grungy, all the puppies. Again, one of those little transfers that I just put over the top of that. I had some vintage stamps. Then this here, I mean, I've never done anything like this where you just kind of cover things, but I did a collage in the back. I had one of from my Queen kit, I had a card So I grunged her up, put her on there, put some, I don't know what you call this, the cheesecloth over the top. I had some little feathers, and then I had this kind of material piece that I just put over the top, and I like how it turned out. It's kind of neat. Here's another one of those little photos, and one of the from the digital here, and I just put it on here so it moves. And I liked this saying. It says, maybe it's that we use the person in the photograph as a conduit to tell our own story. Is that my story? I love it. But I like that saying. So yeah, you see Grungy. Here I had an old metal piece again that I put in here. Just kind of made a little flip, some papers. Here's another one of those little photos in the card. Yeah, I like the versatility of those little tiny photos. Instead of having, you know, take your photos and shrink them all down, it's all in one big collage. It's not perfectly centered as far as cutting, but that's okay. So another thing that I made my own clear gesso, and it's using cornstarch, glue, and water. And what I found out is that when you're doing, especially these grungy, and if you want to stamp or paint or anything over your papers, you use that clear gesso. So after you've done doing kind of your grungy, you put that over the top. But you know how your wax paper, it won't adhere paints because of the waxy. But if you use that clear gesso over the top, then it adheres the paint to it. So I like that as well, because, you know, I love the sound, that crunchiness. And I did that clear glossy over all of my papers. And I did that because I didn't know if I was gonna paint more, and it also gives it a little more sturdiness to it. So it's kind of helpful, and it, you know, dries clear. So now this here, so this is a pocket that I had grunged up again, but these here, I have like 2 full big boxes of these. They're called Holly Process Slides. They're old slides, vintage slides. I mean, they're metal, glass, and originally, and I'm still going to try to see if I can't figure out how to do it. I wanted to make a junk journal where I put lights behind it, put it on the front, and you could light it up. The lights that I got were the Tim Holtz lights, and you know, I didn't realize they were Halloween, so they were green and I think purple. And I didn't want to color behind those. And just trying to figure out the mechanics as far as putting it on the front, because that's what I was originally going to do with this junk journal. But trying to put it on the front, I almost need to make like a little box and then somehow have it where I can do the little switch so you can turn it off and on. So that's my next thing that I'm going to try to figure out. But I wanted to put one in. Now, because they're clear, you know, I don't know if you can see here, if you put them down, you can't see it a whole lot. So I put some paper, grungy paper on the back of it, just to kind of emphasize the lady in here. And she's by some, it looks like some statues. Oh, Court of Lions, Fountain, Court of Lions, it says. I don't know how old these are. I mean, obviously they're very old, but they're neat. But I wanted to put one in here. So that's what I did. And then I just stuck it in the little envelope here. Then here is one of my cabinet cards again. And then I just did some collage work with some material, a flower, some old stamps that I had. Made a little pocket. Here's one of those digital cards that I was talking about, tags. It's nice because they're already kind of done for you know, other than kind of grunging up the sides and that sort of thing, but then you can add things to it as well. And then here's an old envelope that I had that I just put in here. And then on the inside, so here's what I'm talking about, the collage sheets that I have out there, as you can tell. So I just took one of those collage sheets and then I just obviously just cut, you know, right over the top of it just to make a full tag of it. But I love these, but like I said, you can cut out each individual ones, but some of them are kind of, you know, just so you know, they are kind of overlapped, but you can still get the pictures out of them. So I just left this one as is after I put that over the top. And then when I put it in kind of backwards here, you can see the pictures through the window. So I liked that. This envelope's from 1934. Here's another one of those transfers that I just put over the top. This here's from I think my Queen's digital. And so I just grunged her up. That's one thing that was nice. I took a lot of my, you know, digitals that I had and I just grunged them all up and it just gave them a whole different things. So if you have digitals sitting around, you know, maybe a flower page or something, grunge them up. I mean, it's, you know, it's easy to do and it just transforms them into another project. This here, you know, this is a Bible thing, and to be honest with you, I don't know what it is. I just had it. I was gonna go look it up because I don't know what it means, but I just put that on there with the magazine here. So, and this, you can't really see it. Did I pass one? Well, maybe I have another one here. All right, and then I just have some grungy papers here, a little embellishment. Here's this little guy here with his dog, some lace, just some collage layers here. These are my old ice cream sandwich bags. I do have the digital out there. I copied all my old vintage ice cream bags and created a digital with it, but this is actually the original that I have, and it's kind of tearing on here. I need to fix this part here, but I made just a tag here for it. But yeah, it's pretty fragile, so I need to kind of reinforce this so it doesn't tear all the way. Then this here, I was just trying to do, I don't know what I was trying to do, just kind of some stenciling and that sort of thing. So I just threw that in there. Then this here's another one of those photo cards that I used, that I had, that I just stuck in here. Oh, here's the paper. So here you can kind of see this is from that National Geographic. And oh my gosh, some of the results are just beautiful. this page here. This here, this was a magazine, and it was very bright and white. So over the top of it, I actually used sewing pattern material that I just put over the top of it so you can still see them. I stamped it a little bit. Then I put, I'll take this out so you can see a little bit better. Stamped it, and I just put it onto the card here. And then here's another tag that I did. Using the same process. I didn't do many pockets and things like that in here. I didn't do, you know, kind of like what I normally do in journals. So, and then again here, I just did the same thing, but on a bigger level with that collage. So these are fun. These are fun for backdrops to leave as is. Like I said, cut out the individual pictures. And then so here's one where I had cut out one of the little individual pictures, and then I used. So in this digital that I have, it will have an area where you cut out in the center. And that's what that is. And then here's another one here. And then there's the back, the end. So yeah, I'm super excited about it, you guys. I hope you loved it. And I'll link some stuff down below. I have my Amazon links down below that will have for these here. Also the papers that I use, that I buy. The photo mat papers, I get a lot of questions about that, so I've linked that down below. I do get a small, you know, small amount commission. I don't know what it is because I've just started that, but it doesn't affect your pricing at all. And then I'll put the links down to the other images as well. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed that and it gave you some kind of inspiration just to kind of, if you're wanting to try something like this, I say just go for it. Just start grunging stuff up. Just kind of go for it, you know. I mean, it's just how we're gonna learn. I mean, there's stuff that I'm sure that I'll look back and I'll go, oh, I should have done this to that, and that sort of thing, the more I do these. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.